Breaking overnight, Paris on edge for another night. People wake up to the sound of explosions and troops and police raid an apartment, searching for the mastermind behind the deadly attacks.
The French national anthem rings out in an English stadium as thousands of people from across Europe show their standing with France. This as U.S. officials take every threat on Americans seriously. No one but 2 U.S. flights diverted after bomb threats.
And Indiana lawmakers want to make the restrictions on controlled substances even tighter, but it could be a bigger headache for a consumer with a common cold. Good morning, Michiana. Welcome to ABC 57 News at 5:30. I'm Rachel Brown.
And I'm Emily Evans. We have that big story coming up in a few minutes, but we'd like to get started with the weather this morning.
And for that, we will send it right out to meteorologist Greg Bobus. Greg, how's it feeling this morning?
Feels fine. Temperatures are in the upper 50s to low 60s. I have the umbrella right now because we actually have a few raindrops just starting to pick up here on the northeast side of town. Western side of South Bend, seeing some rain already. Rain going to overspread the area this morning into the afternoon. Take a look at the bus stop forecasting when I have the umbrella handy. 58 degrees this morning. A lot of wind going to pick up as well. So we're tracking showers this morning into the afternoon. And then a big cool down for the rest of this week and the possibility of some snow by the weekend. So coming up in about 10 minutes, we have some big changes to talk about. Those first changes, though, will be the rain, and that's going to be our forecast focus in about 10 minutes from right now. We'll see you back here then.
Thank you. We're following breaking news right now out of Paris. A lot has happened overnight. Let's bring you up to speed. Right now, 3 terrorist suspects are dead and more than a handful of others are in police custody. More than 100 police and French troops cornered the suspects in an apartment in Saint-Denis. It's a walkable distance from the Stade de France that was the site of explosions Friday. Officials say they were targeting the mastermind of those attacks, Abdelhamid Abdoua. We're working to confirm if he was in fact inside that apartment. We know 3 suspects are dead. 1 woman blew herself up. Police arrested at least 7 others who may be linked to the attacks. We've also learned amid all the gunfire this morning, a civilian was caught in the crosshairs.
Last night, 2 Paris-bound flights were diverted after bomb threats were called in. The first was Air France 65 heading from Los Angeles. Officials diverted it to Salt Lake City, Utah. Once on the ground, passengers were removed from the plane and put on a bus and taken to the terminal. Crews searched the plane and cleared it for travel. A passenger told CNN the FBI was talking to passengers on that flight.
Excuse me, a short time later, Air France Flight 55 en route to Paris from Dole was diverted to Halifax, Nova Scotia after it received a bomb threat. Officials there searched the plane and passenger luggage. U.S. officials say they're not sure if the same person called in the threats. No military jets were scrambled.
As the investigation continues into the Paris attacks, one Belgium neighborhood comes up again and again, Molenbeek. The working class area is about a 10-minute drive from Brussels. It's also the same neighborhood that Salah Abdeslam, one of the suspected terrorists, is from. It has nearly 40% youth unemployment and has contributed to the alienation. Molenbeek also struggles with organized crime. Its suspected terror connections have also raised the red flag for officials.
False papers, false passports, weapon trade are flourishing in certain suburbs of Brussels, like in Molenbeek, and we absolutely have to counter these things with the help of local services, but also with the help of criminal justice.
The suspected mastermind of the deadly attacks is also from the same neighborhood. 2 men suspected of attacking a Jewish museum last year are believed to be from that town. Belgium's interior minister has pledged to take charge of solving the problems in that neighborhood.
Governors across the country are sharing their concerns over plans to bring Syrian refugees to the states. The White House held a conference call last night. It comes after more than half say they won't welcome refugees to their states. Homeland Security and the State Department fielded questions from state executives. Officials assured them the federal government is going through a thorough vetting process.
Our process has improved over the last several years. We consult lots of different agencies in that process. It is a careful, time-consuming process, and we are committed to continuing that process with regard to Syrian refugees.
At least 30 governors, mostly Republicans, have said they will not allow Syrian refugees in their states. 7 governors have committed to welcoming resettlement. And be sure to stay with us for the latest on the Paris terror attacks. We'll have more coming up in the next half hour and later on Good Morning America.
In 2005, Congress passed an act addressing the use of pseudoephedrine in the illegal production of meth. But even still, the meth epidemic is as prevalent as ever, especially right here in Michiana. ABC 57's Evan Siri has more. Evan, good morning.
Good morning, Rachel. One reason why meth lab incidents continues to be such a big problem in our area is because of something called smurfing. It's a method where individuals purchase small batches of pseudoephedrine from multiple stores, and lawmakers are well aware of it.
There were nearly 15,000 clandestine labs that were discovered since 2001, just right here in Indiana. We lead the nation in 2013, 14, and now in 2015 in the number of lab busts that have occurred in the nation.
Just this past weekend, deputies with the Elkhart County Sheriff's Department arrested one person after allegedly discovering a meth lab in a home. Police say multiple drug-related items were in plain sight, and just as clear is the state's growing meth problem. But on Tuesday, House Speaker Brian Bosma said new legislation will soon be introduced to make pseudoephedrine drugs available only by prescription. A recent study by Ball State University, however, says tighter cold medicine laws will only increase Medicaid spending, decrease tax revenues, and drive up doctor visits.
Bosma said he is well aware of the inconveniences a prescription policy, and only a prescription policy would cause, but he also says that if the bill got to the floor, he would absolutely vote for it, describing Indiana as the methamphetamine capital of the country. Reporting live in Mishawaka this morning, Evan Siri, ABC 57 News.
Notre Dame's road to a college football playoff spot is nearing its end. This weekend, it's a home game away from home. The Irish will take on Boston College in their own backyard, Fenway Park. The Eagles are on the wrong side of the win column. They have 7 losses. That number, though, could fool anyone. Boston College is number 1 in defensive yardage this season. Head coach Brian Kelly says it'll be all hands on deck Saturday.
You know, I would say that we just have to be probably a little bit more aggressive. I thought we were a little conservative at times. We'll get back to being a little bit more aggressive offensively.
The game will prove to be a bit of a logistical challenge. Both teams will have to share the same sideline. Kickoff is at 7:42.
School districts are getting more money to keep resource officers on the payroll. The state has restored more than $5 million to a school safety program. Mishawaka High School believes the resource officers give students a more positive idea of police. The Secured School Safety Grant gives them the funding to be in elementary schools, and Mishawaka got that grant for 2016.
Every day I look forward to coming in here and seeing these children and building up that relationship because they're very important. These children are our future.
There are 4 SROs in Mishawaka, 2 for high school and middle school, and the other 2 can stick the elementary school that grant money.
It's 5:39. The Paris terror attacks continue to have an effect here at home.
Coming up, the emotional news one New York teacher had to deliver to his students.
And a French-American school has to clean up after they were targeted by vandals.